Hey guys, welcome to Bernhardt Motorsports. I am the head person in charge of BHMS. But seriously, I am the lead mechanic.
That's it.
That's
it.
And today, what we actually wanted to do because I am partner with my husband in this business actually, and I've been getting at him about doing a video for women because
she's been on me.
Listen, if I hadn't been married to a mechanic, God only like I don't know where we would be. So there are some things that I think women should know, like the basics and or things to look for. So I guess my first question, because it's gonna be, and I don't know if it's a silly question, but you remember that time, babe, when we first got together? Do I have to name the vehicle I was driving?
Nissan Maxima.
And I told you the check, was it a check engine or check oil light came on? Or and I needed to, and was it I needed to add oil?
Add oil.
And you sent me, and minding, guys, I was in college, so young.
Yep. So at that point, newer Maxima, 2 oil pans on there, upper and lower. Upper oil pan gasket was on back order, so we had a leak. She's driving and driving. She saw the light comes on. She was good, guys. She called. Some women would have just kept on going.
Because I needed to get to the mall, and I didn't want to break down, and I needed to get to the mall. But my whole point is you sent me into an auto parts store, and the guy who checked me out let me walk out with what?
2-cycle oil. Out of all the oil out there, now 2-cycle oil.
Now let me ask you this question: if you were, because you worked at an auto parts store,
yep.
So is that y'all's job to go?
I mean, me personally, I would have asked you, hey, not trying to be funny, you want to always not assume, but you want to ask some questions. Hey, you know what are you working on today?
My lawnmower.
Exactly. Then that would have been totally acceptable. But she would have told me, "Oh, I got this going in my car," and you were about to watch her actually pour this in
because I popped the hood.
Yeah, walked her through it.
It wasn't AutoZone. No, it was Advanced, the red one, Advanced Auto Parts.
So it was like, they watched her pour it in there. I guess they was like, oh boy, this guy, we finna have us some money coming in here today, about to have us an engine.
Listen, guy, and my husband don't. I think we've been married for 10 years. I think he might have raised his voice, his octave, like once. But the heat coming through that phone, because you remember what my question was after? I don't even know how it dawned on you to ask me about the oil that I put on there, because I didn't even get to crank the car. And you remember what my question was to you?
Yeah. I said, babe,
does this mean
I can't make the mall? I said, no. You need to go home right now. Don't turn the car on no more. Luckily, it was just right around the corner. So, like, okay, well, I'm going to do some online shopping then. That's fine.
So, I mean, as a woman, what could I have done? And even not even women, because I mean, there's men out there that don't know some of this stuff. So, like,
first thing you could do is, if you have an owner's manual, on your owner's manual, pull out the owner's manual. The owner manual will tell you what oil is going in there. If not, a lot of times, a lot of these vehicles now are actually putting the type of oil on the on top of the, now I can't even think of it, the doggone oil cap on the motor. But yeah, a lot of times if you look there, it'll tell you what kind of oil you need, so that way you can go ahead and put some in. More than likely, if your light comes on, you're only about a quart low. Start off with 1 quart, put it in there. You got a dipstick. It's gonna be, you read the lines on the dipstick. It's gonna give you a minimum maximum line.
You gonna upload a video, sir, of maybe doing something like this?
Yeah, I probably would. I probably have you, actually.
Because you remember, you know what else is so funny? You
Yeah.
made me come outside after that, and you kind of walked me. This
right
is your
there.
motor.
Yep.
This is da. You remember
Had to
that?
show her because I felt bad because when you're in automotive, you sometimes forget that
You're
everybody's not
speaking
in
a
it.
different language to most
So
people, because I was like, oh, okay, I can go ahead and
I
get
can
some
get any
oil.
old kind of oil. It's oil, ain't it?
It's on shelf. I thought it was like unleaded, leaded, and premium.
Yeah.
One gonna make my car go fast. One.
Yep. So I was like, no, I think I need to take some time to actually show her what's going on. But
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because not only are you educated, I don't know if license is the right word because in the state of Florida, but iCart certified to throw all your not little, but to throw out all of your certifications and stuff like that. I'm a woman and I need a new car, or I'm a person who just needs a new car.
Right.
Is there any way? What are the top quick 5 things that I should look for? Because if you sent me right now, God forbid, if something happens to you or I didn't know you, and I got to go to the car lot, I'm not gonna lie. Let me be very honest. I'm just gonna simply turn the car on, and if it turns on, I'm like, okay, good. Right. And then the lights come on, even better. But if they put now I like trucks.
Right.
But if they didn't put this thing up on they didn't jacked it up. I got, what are the things? Some runners down there. They look good. I'm not very big on rims, but if they got me some wheels and I got 4-wheel drive, I don't care about anything else. I'm pulling off.
Right.
And it's clean on the inside. But what are some other things that I possibly need to do, to make sure that, I know there's no guarantee, but.
Right. Know what you're getting yourself into. First of all, do some research on the vehicle. Just take a little bit of time out, do some research on it, and ask yourself, hey, can I really afford the maintenance on this vehicle? Everybody wants to go out. Well, I would say not everybody, but some people wants to go out and get the Mercedes, the BMWs, the Lexus, but not realizing that, hey, one day you're going to need some maintenance on these vehicles. And those dealerships are going to be licking their chops waiting on you to come in to get this vehicle serviced there. So, hey, ask questions. Do your research online. The biggest thing you can do, Google it. It'll give you some ballpark figures on what, if this happens, say, if you need a radiator, if you need, brake job, oil change, tires. So, and also,
or what are the things that.
Here's another thing: when you first crank up the vehicle, listen to it. If it's having a tough time, or you feel like it's running a little rough, this vehicle's supposed to be pretty smooth. For a standard vehicle, it's supposed to run pretty smooth. But if it's kind of jiggling and shaking, like it don't want to be there, leave it alone. Or if you hear the famous word, oh, it only got a few problems.
People say that?
Ask what's the few problems they could be. Or ask yourself, if it's a nice vehicle, super nice vehicle, all done up, ask yourself, why is this vehicle here?
Being sold, yeah.
And why is it being sold? Because a lot of people won't get rid of a vehicle that they put a lot of money into.
This is true.
So,
I got a question. So, and I'm going to try to get that auto insurance experience out of you. Just because I if I go and get a brand new car, does that mean I'm free of problems?
Not at all.
Okay.
Because some stuff may not be covered up under your warranty. So,
but I mean, have you ever seen a brand new vehicle have issues?
Oh yeah.
For instance, if a car falls off a truck and it's brand new and it doesn't have miles on it, hasn't it technically been in an accident?
It technically has.
What about part defects, and how do I find out about those? Like, do those things happen, or should most people believe that just because I'm going to the dealer to get a brand new vehicle,
No.
am I off
Listen.
scot free for a couple of months before I at least need to do my oil change?
You would really be surprised what you will find. Transport, these cars get damaged. So, look over the car with fine details. Look around the car. If you get a chance, look up under the car. Because they can put it up on a rack for you to look at it, just to visually inspect it. They want to sell this car. You have all the power in your hands. Don't let them push you into, oh, this is what you're going to need. This is the only thing that you can afford. It may be the only thing that you can afford, but you can still inspect your vehicle because you're going to buy this vehicle. It's going to be yours. So, take ownership of it up front. Hey, no, I want to see. You may not know what you're looking for, but a lot of times if you go in there and act like you got knowledge on these things, a lot of times the salesperson or the mechanic there would actually be like, okay, she may not know exactly what she's saying,
but she's asking some questions.
She has some questions. She got somebody behind her, even though you may not have. Biggest thing,
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. So, Google it.
So I'm gonna ask this question, and this question, well, one, is there a mechanic code? And what I mean by that is, when I come to a shop and I feel like you're selling me some hogwash, and I take it down the street to Earl, is Earl, based off of what I tell Earl, do you guys automatically work in cahoots, or is one going to throw one under the bus? Like, how do I know which one of y'all is? Because if you're giving me one thing on my car and he's saying something else, what I do, who I believe?
I mean, I think the biggest thing with me is, for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you, because my wife gets at me all the time because I got a conscience on not doing too much and not charging everything.
And what I think you mean by that is in my opinion, is because before I met you, what I didn't like going into car dealerships were, I would go in for an oil change.
Right.
And that's probably all I could really afford. But yet here comes this salesman with this long list of things, like telling me as if I don't get it done tomorrow, I ain't gonna make it to school or to work.
Right.
And I always tell you to break it down to your customers, especially women or even men that don't seem to understand. Hey, here are the things that are critical. Here are the things that you may have, and trust me, I try to tell you to tell them loosely. Just like with medicine or anything else that's practiced, just because he tells you, hey, you need to get this oil change, or you ain't gonna make that motor gonna blow, or you running hot, but you can wait on this. You just kind of want to put things into perspective, because that's what we're looking for. So not that I don't, want you to tell them everything. I just don't want.
So basically, what she's trying to say is, find a mechanic that's going to spend a little bit of time with you, go over your vehicle with you, tell you what is of priority and what can you kind of go away with not having to do right away, but saying, hey, this needs to be in the pipeline for the future. One that's going to give you direction and kind of set up a plan for your vehicle. So, I mean, that's the kind of mechanic you'll want to find, because you'll find yourself actually trusting them more, doing more maintenance stuff with them, but they're not going to take advantage of you, because they're telling you, hey, this is not of importance right now. This is something that you need to do a little bit later on, or hey, this is what I would recommend for this vehicle. So, get to have that relationship with your mechanic.
Just like you would your doctor.
Just like what you would with your doctor.
Because I want to lead into that. We had a customer one time, and I don't know if you know where I'm going to go with this. Sometimes y'all think that y'all mechanics are Miracle Workers and Miss Cleo, you have to think of your mechanic literally as a car doctor. If your car is showing certain symptoms, you have to express all of that to a mechanic. Because if you only say one or two things, it's just like a doctor. If I go to my family care and I say, "Hey, listen, my ear hurts and my knee hurts,"
Right.
you know, he's gonna say, "Okay, well, ENT and possibly," and you know, I'm just saying. But unless I say, "Well, my ear hurts, but it's cause maybe, you know, I'm not draining with my sinuses, and I don't know if that's ENT." But my whole point is you have to tell them the whole story.
Tell us everything, because if we're not driving this vehicle every day. So this is your vehicle. You should know this vehicle a lot better than I am. So as a mechanic, you check the vehicle based upon the symptoms that the customer tells you. So if it's not an obvious red flag right there, we're not going to know to kind of hone in on that situation, because we're chasing the other issue that you've told us about. So just go in, be open and honest. Anything that you think may not be right with your vehicle, tell us.
Ladies,
because that'll only help us.
It's like going to your OB. Tell them everything that you've seen, heard, and smell.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds crazy, but really, it could save you a lot of time and definitely a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it that way.
Because it will cost you more if we have to go back in
there. Yes. So, and trust me, we ain't doing discounts.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, I really think that these are videos that we should continue to do, because it's a lot of us out there that don't know, and you know, and we need some kind of guidance. So I mean, I could go on with this conversation forever. I do want you to clarify one thing for me for this video. You were saying to do your research on the type of vehicle. Well, I want you to give them the example of when I met you in my first car that I got, our second car, I got a Nissan.
Right.
But you've always been a fan of domestic
vehicles.
And do you remember? Because it was like, I don't know, we were dating and you would try to get me to sell that car and I wouldn't. So your way of saying it, which he still does this, ladies, is if you keep this vehicle, you're going to pay for the maintenance. Yeah. And because he tells me to this day, if I'm paying for it, it's GMC. Can I say that? GM. I'm sorry, GM.
Right.
So yes, I drive what he pays for. But I think it took me, because one day you went to go get your brakes changed and you were driving a GM vehicle, and I think you paid like maybe a couple bucks to change your brakes. Granted, because you don't have to pay for parts. I mean, labor. You just had to pay for parts. And same with me. You didn't charge me for labor, but to prove your point, you made me pay for parts.
Right.
And when we got there, was it brakes or what was it? It was something. And I was like, and he gets discounts because of his business. And I don't want to say discounts, but you know, you buy it at a cheaper price. You know, whatever. And I was like, is that it? Is that what it costs? Like, why is my brakes? And ladies, immediately, I was like, all right, it's time for this bad boy to go, because when that stuff started rolling in, because after that it was the converter and some other issues,
catalytic converters,
and I was like, and when he started telling me price, I was like, just go buy the car you gonna pay for. So ladies, it's truly important, because not only that, I could only put premium gas in that car, and he would pull up and put his little couple of bucks in his car, and I'll be sitting there looking at that thing like,
this ain't really moved my needle.
I just want to buy shoes.
So you got to think about all of these things, you know.
Even
is it going to fit in my it's going to fit in my budget. You know, you have a budget that you need to stick to every month. You gotta eat. You're
And buy
gonna
shoes.
want to buy some clothing and some shoes.
And some shoes.
But are you stuck having to put maintenance in this vehicle?
Mm.
Will I have to save up to do the maintenance on this vehicle? But you're constantly gonna have to drive this vehicle in the meantime.
And also that
So-
applies to size and again, type, because you remember Beamer,
Right.
flat tire, $500.
$500.
And
$500 a pop now. This ain't nothing that you can patch.
then at all.
This is
Because
not
that's
a,
what I asked him. I was like,
this
"Hey,
is
can
not
we
a
patch
patch.
it?"
This is not a patch issue. It's not something that you can do. That's either you ride on a donut, which you can only ride on a donut for so long, and you can't go fast with a donut. It's not gonna look good. So that nice new shiny car, you're gonna be pulling up to work or pulling up to the club with a donut on.
Don't do us like that.
But these are the things you got to think about, ladies.
What about trucks?
I always prefer trucks,
But my tires on my truck.
but they can be patched. They can be patched. So,
Alright.
yep. So again, if y'all, lady subscribers, if y'all want to see more content like this, please,
Let us
drop
know.
down in the comment box.
Any questions?
Any questions?
I'll make him
Also-
answer them.
Yeah, she will.
Let me
Also-
tell y'all how good he is. So this I knew he was good. This is why I made him start his own business. We were watching My Cousin Vinny, and he doesn't like movies like that. And it's a part where the lady mechanic is trying to help her fiance win his case. And the question was, tell me why this 85 Buick Skylark could have not done, was it positive traction or whatever it is?
Could not have spin both wheels at one
At the
time.
same time. And he answered the question. And I was like, oh, wow. So, ladies, I just want to say he is the original car doctor. He is the truth. And not only that, he comes from, I've always told him, this is in his blood. His dad's a diesel mechanic. So if he doesn't get it, them two get together, run their brains together, and they make magic happen. So
it's like fourth generation.
yeah. So drop the questions below. I have my own YouTube channel of lifestyle.
Check her out, Kirsten Alicia. Go to her page.
Lifestyle blogger.
Like, share,
Share.
subscribe. Show the love.
Woo-hoo. And then, guys, continue to follow him. I'm going to make sure he gets his content up there. I'm trying to make it pretty, but he doesn't allow me to do that. But we'll get there. So, please continue to follow my husband, Bernhard Motorsports, a.k.a. BHMS, a.k.a. #GotHP. Yes, so continue to support. Again, share with your friends. You can pretty much find just about anything on his channel before the end of the year. I will have him uploaded.
All right, guys. Y'all be easy.
Take it easy.